Being in flow is one of the best experiences that we get to go through. That moment where time just seems to disappear, and the next thing you know, it's hours later and you didn't even realize. That moment when everything else dissolves and it's just you and that task at hand, and everything just feels so natural. That's flow. And in this video, I'm going to help you get into that state with these 5 simple steps. The first step is to eliminate distractions. It can take up to 20 minutes to get back into the flow state every time you're distracted. So just hear me out. Imagine if you were in the flow state and you get distracted because your phone pings. You look at it and then it can take up to another 20 minutes to get back into that state, and then maybe 5 more minutes pass and then you're distracted again. If that keeps happening, you won't get into that flow. It's not going to happen. So make sure you remove any and all distractions. Move it aside, move your phone away, and just focus at the task at hand. And make sure you also set some time for yourself to get into that flow state, which also happens to be number 2. Since it can take up to 15 to 20 minutes to get into that flow state, a block of 30 minutes isn't going to do much. It can take up to 45 minutes to get into that peak state of flow. You should plan aside at the very least 90 minutes, and it can be up to 2 hours. The next thing is to make sure you do something you love. If you get bored of doing whatever, you're not going to reach that flow state. You don't hear people getting into a flow state just so they can pass time. Think about all of the times where you were in that state. It was more than likely when it was doing something that you were passionate about, something that you cared about, something that you really enjoyed doing. So make sure it's something that you can enjoy spending at least 90 minutes with. The next thing is to have clear goals. Once you've done all of the previous steps, make sure you know what you're actually planning on doing before you do whatever task at hand. If you don't have any clarity on what you're trying to accomplish, that may prevent you from reaching a flow state. So make sure you know what you're planning on doing beforehand. Don't go in blind not knowing what your intentions are. And the last and 5th way is to challenge yourself slightly. If you were to do something too easy, you'll get bored way too quickly, so that won't work. However, on the other side, if you do something that's too hard, that frustration will prevent you from ever reaching a flow state. So you need to do something that is slightly challenging, something that you can do if you were pushed a little, pushed out of your comfort zone, if you will. If you end up doing something you love that is mildly challenging, it'll keep the task at hand exciting, and it'll also keep you more engaged when you're in that flow state. So these are 5 different steps that you can take to get into a flow state. Just be aware that there are preventers that can come in and take place that can prevent you from ever reaching that state. And that is something I will be explaining in the very next video. So make sure you stay tuned, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. It'll help tons. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!